Good morning and Happy New Year. The City of Emporia has been extremely busy in 2011 and 2012 we will continue to be. We have a very small staff, but we have a very efficient staff that's serving the citizens of Emporia and City Council in the best way possible. City staff will be embarking upon and continuing many exciting projects this year, including our South Main Street Enhancement Project, West Atlantic Neighborhood Improvement Project, Citizens National Bank Building Project, and others to name a few, with the focus on downtown revitalization, redevelopment, property maintenance, and economic development. I do want to thank City Council, City staff, including my assistant Steve Hall, and all the citizens of Emporia for their support of these projects that will serve to enhance the quality of life in our fine community.
Good morning, I'm Steve Hall, the Assistant City Manager of the City of Emporia. We're here just past the Spring Street and South Main Street intersection, looking at the city's South Main Street Enhancement Project.
The city received approximately $1.2 million in grant funding for the South Main Street Enhancement Project. Most recently, $550,000 in 2010 and $390,000 last year. This is a two-phase project. The first and current phase is utility relocation. The utility lines and poles that you see will be relocated behind the buildings fronting Main Street, and the famous leaning poles of Emporia will be removed. The second phase is streetscape improvements. Included here are street signal upgrades, pedestrian scale lighting, new street signs, drainage improvements, benches, among other amenities. Utility relocation should commence within the next 2 months, and the city is very excited about the outcomes of this project.
This is the Citizens National Bank building located in downtown Emporia. This building was constructed in the early 1900s and is a landmark in downtown Emporia. The city bought this property back in 2003-2004 timeframe, and since then the city has been looking at options regarding use of the building. At this time we are currently working with an architectural firm called the Yellow Room out of Richmond to look at some design options, to do some renovations to the building, and to potentially use federal and state historic tax credits to refurbish the building and recoup potential money that may be spent on the building. So the city is looking at options on this building. We hope construction will start sometime on this building in the next 4 to 5 months, and this is a very potentially exciting project for the city. This is the former Greensville County Elementary School located in downtown Emporia. City staff has been working with the Civic Center Foundation several years now on this project, working with the Mary Woodruff and her group. The city did acquire this property from Greensville County last year, and we appreciate the county's cooperation with that. So the city does currently own this property. The city does hope to find a developer who is interested in this property, renovating the property, that would accomplish both a civic center and potentially residential apartment use. So we are currently seeking opportunities and still hopefully moving forward on the project.
Here we are at the City Farmers Market. We're under the pavilion right now, and the city is exploring the opportunities for a couple new projects in 2012 with respect to the Farmers Market. To continue the vision for redevelopment of the once decrepit site here on Main Street, the city will be procuring an engineer to create plans for a pedestrian bridge which would connect the rear of the site to Veterans Memorial Park, as you see in the foreground. We're still here at the City Farmers Market site. We are currently where the site borders the Meherrin River. One of the other projects the city is exploring for 2012 is a Blueways trail. The city is potentially looking to plan and engineer canoe or kayak launch at the Meherrin River. This is part of a greater regional initiative. The trail, the Meherrin River Blueways, would extend all the way from South Hill to the North Carolina border. We're now here on Halifax Street. In 2011, the city explored the prospect of a new opportunity focused on the historic Belfield district, otherwise known as Halifax.
Stakeholder meetings were held and surveys were obtained from interested business owners. The city has submitted an application to the Department of Housing and Community Development for planning grant funding to further study this area and its potential to receive downtown redevelopment improvements, potentially for storefront and facades.
This is the old Bloom Brothers building site. The city just finished, or is in the process of demolishing this property as we speak. After this property is demolished completely, we will turn our attention to the other end of Halifax Street, where the city acquired both this property and 2 other properties at the other end of Halifax Street. We are redeveloping those into green spaces and potential park areas for the future. So this is an exciting project as we continue our redevelopment efforts on Halifax Street. This is the Halifax Street Bridge. Obviously we're on Halifax Street here beside the Community Youth Center. The city has been working with the Virginia Department of Transportation the past few years on this project. VDOT is administering this project itself. We're using VDOT money to design and do future construction to replace the bridge. The bridge is currently listed as structurally deficient. It is in need of replacement. So we are working with VDOT on this project. They are preparing plans to replace the bridge. Hopefully we should see some construction, hopefully start this year, if not 2013. So this, once this is complete, this will be a great improvement for this area.
We're now here in the West Atlantic Street neighborhood. 2 years ago, the city acquired funding from the Department of Housing and Community Development for a CDBG project. The total project cost is approximately $2.5 million. The project is well underway in 2011 and will continue in 2012. In 2011, our focus primarily was on demolition and acquisition of property. The site you now look at once had 11 units that were dilapidated and have now been demolished.
Here you go.
In 2011, the city began to focus on home rehabilitation. One of the first units completed was 422 Pine Street. This unit received approximately $25,000 in upgrades to the interior and exterior. 27 homes in total will be rehabilitated through this project. This will continue into phase 2. Along with the rehabilitation, we will begin to see some infrastructure improvements, new road overlays, drainage improvements, and new sidewalks. Also, 4 new homes will be constructed in the neighborhood for first-time homeowners.
We are at Georgia Pacific on East Atlantic Street in Emporia. The city has been looking at options the past year or two with Georgia Pacific and VDOT to use part VDOT money to reconstruct East Atlantic Street approximately from Dan's Glass Shop over to 58. The city is in the process of procuring an engineer to develop engineering and construction plans to reconstruct the road, and also look at options for constructing a turning lane into Georgia Pacific to alleviate some of the truck traffic and congestion that comes about once in a while here. So we are working on this project, looking to develop a turn lane and reconstruct East Atlantic Street. We are at the Emporia Water Treatment Plant. The plant originally was built in 1954. It is very old and in need of substantial renovations and improvements. We have retained a Dewberry engineering firm. They are in the process of creating construction plans, engineering plans to upgrade the plant. The first phase of the project will include putting a new intake structure in that will draw water from the reservoir into the plant. That'll be the first phase of the project that we'll be doing here in 2012. The second phase of the project will include upgrading the plant itself. The third phase of the project will include upgrading several of the city's main water lines throughout the city that were built in the early 1900s, 1910 and 1925 specifically. So we are making substantial strides to upgrade our infrastructure. It's needed. It's about a $12 to $13 million project. We did receive almost $1 million from the Tobacco Commission to go towards the upgrade of the project and primarily go towards engineering cost. So we do appreciate the Tobacco Commission's assistance, and this is a very important and substantial project for the city of Emporia in terms of providing quality water to our citizens and providing needed water to business and industry and potential mega site project in Greensville County. As you can see, city staff is working on many projects that will significantly improve our community. In addition to the projects discussed, the city continues to work with Greensville County on the development of the mega site. We are also working with our surrounding neighbors on developing a new regional economic development organization called the Commonwealth Trans-Tech Alliance. The city plans on bolstering its own economic development program in 2012 by hiring our own economic development staff person in an effort to bring jobs and businesses here to Emporia. Again, I would like to thank City Council, city staff, and all the citizens of Emporia for their support in 2011 and their continuing support in 2012.